Our Show brought to you in part by Landmark Cinemas. In Landmark Cinemas now, The Monkey. When twin brothers Bill and Hal find their father's old monkey toy in the attic, a series of gruesome deaths start. The siblings decide to throw the toy away and move on with their lives, growing apart over the years. But not so fast. Starring Tatiana Maslany and Theo James, The Monkey, in Landmark Cinemas now. As promised, Jared Dumba from the famous hockey-playing Dumba family joins us to talk NHL hockey here. Jared, and we're going to jump right into it because these chats always go so fast. If you don't mind, take a swing at this one. Winnipeg Jets won 11 in a row last night, go for 12 tonight. It's our poll question for EMJ Marketing. Will they set the NHL record for consecutive wins on this heater? Yes or no? What do you think?
No. I'm going to say no. That's awful hard to do. There's a lot of games left here, especially those last few games when everybody knows that you're going for that record. It's so easy for the other team to get up. That being said, I wouldn't be surprised if I'm proved completely wrong. Winnipeg just doesn't seem to lose this year. You look at three of the top winning streaks of the year across the league. 3 of the top 4 are the Winnipeg Jets. So they just don't seem to lose. When they do lose, they jump right back into the winning column.
The President's Trophy curse is real, and I don't want to single the guy out from Winnipeg who wrote in earlier about how the Jets are going to win the President's Trophy. I'm like, well, you don't want it. And listen, stick with me on this, Jared. You follow it closely. Last year, not at this time, but soon, Paul Maurice was taking his foot off the gas and holding guys out and playing the backup, getting ready for the playoffs. It cost him the President's Trophy, and people were losing their minds here. But the point is, I literally don't think you want it. Yeah, you want to be playing your best, but how should the Jets approach this the rest of the way?
I think you gotta start sitting guys out a little bit when you can here and there. You got to be strategic about it. I know all the guys want to play all the time, but I think that's the best way to go about it. You don't. I know it's nice to win that President's Trophy, but you look at the amount of teams that have won the Stanley Cup after winning the President's Trophy. It's not very long. So I think I agree with you there. You want to continue to play hard and give guys time to rest their injuries, rest whatever they need, even if they don't have an injury. Take a couple nights off here and there and be ready for the playoffs, because that's what everybody wants, especially Winnipeg Jets, especially after the last playoffs. We all know what happened there. I think Hellebuck's going to turn it around and have a big playoffs, but you want to be going in firing on all cylinders into the playoffs.
If I was in the Winnipeg media, I would be instituting a fine for any viewer, fan that brings up even the P word, President's Trophy. Don't even bring it up. Stanley Cup, different. Yeah, let's talk about that. President's Trophy, no. John in Edmonton writes in, as you know, it's a very big night here in Florida. We got the Oilers here at the Panthers, and the Flames are at the Lightning, just up the road. John in Edmonton says, Jared, what's wrong with the Oilers? Do they need a new goalie or what?
Well, my straight answer to that is no. You know what? Everybody, when you look at the players that they got, it's so hard to add a solid goaltender. I mean, if you could get a Binnington in there along with Skinner, I mean, fantastic. But that costs a lot of money. You're going to have to get rid of something to do that. I think the Oilers are happy with their goaltending, even though Skinner does this every year. There's 2 or 3 times every year where he goes through a patch where he's not so great. Everybody says you need new goaltending. You got to trade him. And then what happens? He shoots the lights out after that. He stops everything. He gets right back. You look at last year, not bad for a young goaltender to take his team to Game 7 and only let in 2 goals in the final game. If he had a little bit of run support, he'd have a cup right now. We wouldn't be having this conversation. Would they like a better backup? Sure. Is that situation going to rear its head? I mean, we'll see. I think their main focus before goaltending is going to be to try and add to their defensive depth.
Jeremy writes in. He's a Detroit fan. He says, Jared, have the Red Wings changed your mind? Playoffs? I distinctly remember the last time you were on, you said the chemistry's off there. Something's not right. And they fired the coach. And now they're the hottest team since. So where are you on the winged wheel these days?
I would love to see the Wings make the playoffs. That's going to be such a tight race. It's going to come right down to the end. There's going to be some stuff involved. Who stays healthy? A little bit of luck, a little bit of puck luck here and there. But I definitely think that the Wings could get in, especially if they keep playing like this. And Todd McClellan, what a job he's done since getting there. He's loosened up the reins on the boys. They're playing good in their own zone, but they seem freewheeling. Power play looks good. Been great in the offensive zone, and if they keep doing what they've been doing, I think they're gonna be in the playoffs.
Randy from Winnipeg writes in and says the Blues announced yesterday they will be sellers. So I guess that actually feeds into what I wanted to get into you next with was trade talk. Now, just because the Blues are going to be sellers, does that mean Binnington's going to be available? I don't know what his contract situation is, but he won a cup with them. You saw what he did at Four Nations. I don't. In the most important position on your team, my opinion, you may or may not agree. When you got a guy, you don't trade a guy. The guy. Yeah. What do you think?
Well, it depends on, how much do you want to tear down? How much of a rebuild or a retool do you want to do? I know they got some confidence in their backup goaltender. They're talking about Shen going on. I don't know. With Binnington, I mean, with a contract like that, he's going to want to go to one of the top contenders. I keep hearing the Oilers over and over. It's tough for the top contenders. Most of them are up against the cap. I mean, a team like Winnipeg could fit in his cap hit, but obviously they don't need his services. It's going to be tough for Binnington to go anywhere. If he does, I don't even know who could fit him in under the cap. I think he's going to stay where he is. The other question with St. Louis for me is Shen. Is Shen going to go? It's sounding more and more like they're going to shop, or like they are shopping him around, but it's sounding more and more like a trade's going to be made. Of course, every Leaf fan in the world, everybody's going to the Leafs, every good player. So Shen is definitely going to the Leafs. Just ask a Leafs fan. It would be interesting if they could get him, but that's the one. That's the main piece I'm keeping my eye on out of St. Louis before Binnington is Shen.
I do see him on the TSN list, if that is to be believed, that Shen is going to be ending up somewhere. BW in Edmonton writes in, he says, Binnington signed a 6-year deal in 2021. Okay. I told you this goes fast, Jared, so we have a lot to get here, too. But the thing is, people got to stop talking about the contracts. They got to stop talking about the money. I had a GM, an NHL GM, say to me, don't worry about the salary cap. Don't worry about it. If they want a player, they'll make it work. It's not for you to worry about, or the media or anybody else. Who would have seen the Nakes trade? Rantanen, he is on an expiring deal. But what makes sense doesn't make sense. Like when these trades, how much are you factoring contracts in? Because the hockey people tell me not to.
Yeah, you know what? For this year, I factor him in for this year. For the coming years, when the cap's going up, if they want a guy, like you just said, if they do want a guy, and he's got some term on his contract, I don't think they worry about that, because if they'll fit him in, you're going to have some room in the coming years. I don't think that's as much of a factor. But the guy you just mentioned, Roddy, how about that? How about? Was that a mistake, or was that what kind of move was that by Carolina management to bring in a guy and you're not sure if he's going to sign with you? They just did this last year with Gensel, gave up a bunch and then lost Gensel in the summer. Are they going to lose Rantanen? You would have thought that they would have had him a sure signing or an agreement to a contract before they traded for him. But now what do? Do they have to fire sale him? Does somebody else get lucky knowing that they're trying to get rid of him? Are they able to sign him? Do they wait to the summer and lose him? That's a very interesting subject right now, is watching what's going to happen with Rantanen, because him and the team have not been doing very well since he got there.
Well, I'm sure there are hockey people watching this and laughing because I don't know the inside story, but just remember what happened last year. Rod Brindamore signed his extension with the Hurricanes, and Don Waddell walked and ended up in Columbus. So there's some sort of rub there that I don't understand. But I got to ask you this. You saw Seth Jones mouthing off in the media after Chicago lost in Utah the other night, and Elliot Friedman tied him to the Panthers here, which got everybody all horny in the Panther fan base. And let's be honest, they could use him. But what's your take on what he said, and where would be a good fit for him?
Well, you know what? With what he said, I mean, I didn't really like it, to be honest with you. That's been going on for a while now, and he's saying it close to the trade deadline. It seems a little bit selfish to me, like he's trying to push their hand to get out of Chicago, which he could have been saying this stuff earlier this year. Saying it now, it just seems a little bit selfish to me, and not like he's trying to, motivate the team or anything. We all know where they're at. As for where's he going to go, I've been watching him play very closely the last year and this year. That's going to be a tough trade. I mean, if a team like Florida, that could be a really good fit. I don't think some people are saying Dallas because he's from there. I don't think Dallas is picking him up. I think anybody who does pick him up is going to have to give up a lot of future and picks, or both, because they're going to have to eat some salary. Chicago's going to have to eat some salary, and that's just going to up the ante for what they get in return. So that's that one. To me, I don't think Seth Jones is going to get traded. I think that'll be more of a summer thing, but we'll see. I think most of the deals that we're going to see this year are going to be kind of one-for-one trades, a second or third liner for a fourth or fifth D-man, guys that are just not fitting in on teams. Everybody's so close in the pack, and the guys at the top, they've already got great teams. They're not going to, I don't see a lot of superstars being traded around. So I think it's going to be more middle of the pack guys. I think we might see some more deals in the last couple of years, but
it's interesting you say that, because I wondered who you think will be the buyers, because, again, you got the guys at the top. As you mentioned, the Jets would make sense if they wanted to add. Panthers are leading the Atlantic Division. They might be in the market for a Seth Jones. Or are we looking at the bubble teams, the Flames, the Canucks, the Sens, the Lightning, the Wings? Who do you think will be the most active? Those trying to get in, or those that are trying to win a pennant?
I think the guys that are trying to get in are going to be the most active this year. I think you might see a move out of Winnipeg, Washington, but those guys have been so good all year round. It's almost like, when you get a good recipe, you don't want to mess it up. You don't want to add in a little something else that's going to mess it up. Not to say that they wouldn't add, a winner. I could see someone like Luke Shen going to a team, a D-man that's a good team guy who's got a cup, to add a piece like that to a solid team that's got a real good chance to win. I could see something like that. But I think we're going to see more trades in those, like you said, like the Red Wings, the Senators, the guys that are trying to get in. I think that's where the movement's going to be, and that's why I think it's going to be a lot of even swaps. Maybe switch, not trading within your division, trading to another division, trying to get a third liner for a third liner, or a third liner for a fourth D. Like I said, just guys that maybe aren't fitting into your team, but trying to get somebody that's going to fit into your system a little bit better.
Okay, here's the last one for you, and this has gone so fast. Ladies and gentlemen, you can look up Jared Dumba's Hockey DB at hockeydb.com. I thought you were a Notre Dame Junior A Hound. Were you not? I thought you were a Hound.
Yeah, I was. Yeah. Is it not on there?
Junior A? No.
Yeah.
It's got you with the Blades, and of course, South Surrey. And then your extensive pro career. Oklahoma City, Indianapolis, Austin, Flint. And, of course, you are the original Tulsa King. Forget about Sylvester Stallone. It's on Elite Prospects. It's at Elite Prospects, Clark says, but it's not at Hockey DB. And Hockey DB is my go-to. But anyway, I saw you play with the damn Hounds. I didn't dream it. So how did you feel with the news that the Hounds are moving to Ormond? Everybody wants to know.
Well, you know what? I didn't know what to think. Obviously, with a team and a place like Notre Dame with such long storied history, you're always that haven't played there, you're always rooting for them, but you just wonder. I haven't heard any stories about it. I haven't got any details from anybody yet. It's kind of fresh around here, so I'm just wondering, what the heck's going on? You feel a little bit upset, for the Hounds and for Notre Dame, especially the kids who like to go watch the games there. But at the same time, I can see, things are moving on, things are changing in the world and changing in hockey. So I can see the reasons why they might, but pretty sad, especially being an alumni. Sad to see one of your old teams go. That's for sure. But if you hear any news on that, shoot me a message. I'd like to hear the inside scoop of why, or is there something else going on underneath, or what's the news there?
Well, it's not exactly the buzz in South Florida, I'll tell you that. And since you're sitting about 20 miles from there, you tell me if you hear something, because it's pretty easy dollars and cents. Pretty easy dollars and cents as far as I'm concerned. You got junior A budgets are into the millions now, and 5 people go to the Hounds games. It ain't that hard to figure out. Plus, the kids are paying to play there, which they've always done, but it's different. You know what I mean. Jared, this has been fun, man. Enjoy the hockey. Let's do it again soon.
Thanks a lot, brother. Have a great day.
Our hockey analyst, Jared Dumba, from the famous hockey-playing Dumba family. Viewer takeover the rest of the way, plus a sports update on this busy Thursday. We'll be right back here on Game Plus TV, streaming live and podcasting wherever the best podcasts are from.